Hey everyone, welcome to Coach Mel's Crochet Corner. We are going to be working today on joining granny squares together. We're going to do this several different ways today. We're going to do a slip stitch, we're going to do a single crochet with right sides together, and we're going to do a single crochet with right sides facing out. So what you're going to need is your hook and some yarn. Now, I'm using a bright pink yarn on this so that you could really see the stitches. One of the things that I want to talk about, so in this situation where I have my edges as two different colors, whatever you're going to use here, you're going to see that with these stitches. So if you wanted to, you could go around all of your squares with the same color that you're going to use to stitch them together, and then it will blend in. If not, you'll see how you're going to see this pink in kind of different ways depending on what you're using. All right, we're going to start with a slip stitch. So I'm going to start by doing this wrong sides together. Okay, so this is the right side of each. I'm pulling it up so that my wrong sides are together. And I'm going to start in the corner by just pulling in my yarn and just giving it a quick chain one. That's just attaching it. All right, now we're going to slip stitch. So we're going to start right here in this stitch that is right outside of that corner. And I'm going to hit the same stitch on the back square. Going through both, pull through and pull through again. That's your slip stitch. We're going to go into the next stitch, go into the same stitch of the back square, pull through and pull through. So obviously it's important that my squares are the same size and then I'm lining up stitch for stitch. Front stitch, back stitch, pull through and pull through. I'm going to do a few more and then flatten this out so that you could see what this stitch looks like. Pull through and pull through. And as I said, it's going to be very obvious because I'm using the bright pink so that you could see the stitches. And each side, each square is going to have a different look to it. Let me do two more here. Through and through. Pull it. Again, through and pull it. All right. So when I flatten that out, just move this off to the side. When I flatten that out, you don't see a lot. I'm going to get a little bit closer for you. So you don't see a lot of the stitch on this side. It's kind of tucked underneath there, but over on this other side, you definitely see the pink a little bit more. Now it's not drastic, you know, it doesn't stick out terribly, but when you look towards the side, that's when you really see the difference. This one really gets tucked under. This one has more of that top of the stitch feel. Okay, so that is what a slip stitch looks like on the front. Now, here's the interesting thing. On the back, what I'm calling the back right now, you could hardly see it. So let's do this same stitch again. I'm going to pull that out. We're going to do this same stitch again, but I'm going to put right sides together. All right. I'm going to do the same thing. Pull in up here in the corner and do that chain one just to fasten it. All right. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to come out of that corner, hit the first stitch on the first and the back. Oh, slip stitch and pull through. I split it. Let's do that again. Go through the front, go through the back, pull through, pull through. In. So I'm doing the exact same thing. I just took my squares and put them right sides together. So I'm technically working down the back of each one. All right, let me just get a couple more here. In and in. Again, matching up stitch for stitch. Putting squares together is nice because you have that edge, whether you did a single around or if you just finished off, like these are finished with doubles, but it's really nice because you can very easily, you could see, you can go stitch for stitch. Okay, so Now if you open it up, this is the back side. So you have that similar case where you see it more on one side than the other. But here's the nice part. Let's flip this over, all right? Here's the front of it. And you just, I'm gonna get closer again. You just have that little bit. I did it in the pink so you could really see it. That would get weaved in. So you can see it, there's no doubt. You can see it, but it's a little bit more subtle in that it is sunk down into that as opposed to being up. All right, we're gonna now do a single crochet to connect together. So let's take this out and do that. So we're gonna do the same thing. Just pull this out. I'm gonna start, same thing, start in the corner. I'm doing wrong sides together. Pull in your loop and chain just to fasten it. All right, now what we're gonna do is instead of doing the slip stitch, we're gonna do single crochet. So first stitch here to first stitch here. And now we're gonna bring through, yarn over, and complete your single. Next stitch, come through, yarn over, complete your single. I'm gonna keep doing that down the edge. Again, stitch for stitch. Stitch for stitch. My right sides are out, wrong sides are together. Let's get a couple more here. All right, let's take a look at how that's looking. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be much more apparent now. Your stitches tend to go towards the side that you were working at, so I just kind of brought them up a little bit. Let's take a closer look at that now. So this is really creating a ridge here, okay? Let's look at it from the side so that you could see. It's really creating a ridge. Now, there are some times that you want that. You know, you might be putting something together that you want to have this as a little bit of an embellishment on it, and so that it's sticking up. Let's look at the back of it. Very similar to the slip stitch in that you just have that little single stitch going across there. So let's do that. Again, we're gonna do it now so that we have our, I'm up on a yoga block. All right, so let's pull that out. All right, we're gonna do, what did we just do? We did wrong sides together. We're gonna do right sides together this time. Let's pull it in. Wrong sides together. Bring that in, chain one to hold it. All right, I'm gonna go first stitch, pull up that loop, yarn over through both, next stitch, pull up that loop, come through both. Good. Let's get a couple more here. So we're just doing it the opposite way. I have right sides together this time, and I'm doing my single crochets. All right, so this is the wrong side. This is the back where we really see that stitch and it stands up a little bit. All right, and now this is the right side of our work where again, we have that smaller stitch that's just going across. All right, I'm gonna do this one more time with right sides together, and I'm gonna do it with one of these colors. I have my teal yarn right here. I want you to see what it looks like when you're using the same color as one of your edges. Now, if both of my edges were the same color, it would practically disappear. All right, so right sides together. Come over here. I'm starting in my corner. Pulling in my teal this time, chain one. All right, first stitch to the first stitch, pull up your loop, yarn over, come through two. Next stitch, pull up your loop, come through two. again, pull up your loop. Whoops. Redo that one. Let's get 2 more here. So again, I'm going stitch for stitch, holding my work nice and even. Stitch for stitch. All right. So back side, and I have it leaning towards that side. You can hardly see it, but here's our ridge right here. All right, and now let's flip it over. So when you flip that over, you can hardly tell where that seam is because it's the same color as this side. So even though they're 2 different colors, right, over here, that is the seam right there. So it does blend in really well. It is making this side, if you look closely, it's making this look a little bit wider than this one. But all in all, that's a really nice way to kind of hide that color in there, is use the same color. All right. So that is our tutorial for today. It's nice and quick and sweet, and we will do some more of stitching together in future videos. But this, we did a slip stitch, we did our single crochet, and we did it, this one is right sides facing together. That stitch really disappears there, but that's holding it together nice and tight. All right, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.